Trigger warning. We are live. You are now watching Wrestle AM. We decided to get the band back together. You got yours truly, the sexiest man on all of Wrestling Radio. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join us there way across the pond from Loudmouth Wrestling. Talk about none other than LK, the English stud muffin. And of course, deep in the dirty South, we've got the bald.
You're gonna laugh before you even say my shit, dude? Come on.
The bald barbarian himself, talking about Sammy Sinister. What's up, guys? Good to see you guys again.
Gentlemen, it has been a minute.
It's been a month of Sundays, it feels like.
Yeah, well, fucking real life got in the way.
Yeah, what's everybody been up to?
I'm writing a book.
Living the dream.
Reading a book. So do I have to buy some crayons to go with that, Sammy?
Yeah, it's going to be a coloring book. It's going to be called Anal Escapades, The Story of Boom Boom. Bring a lot of red. That's all I'm going to say.
Your mom doesn't wear a lot of lipstick.
My mom's a lawyer. Thank you very much.
And you just implied that his mum kisses your ass, as in your asshole. The fact that anyone is going near your asshole should be a travesty in its own right. You should not openly admit that happens. That's why his camera's turned off, isn't it? He's getting ideas.
Yeah, that's exactly why. It totally isn't that my son thought it would be much more fun to play with it in the tub, which raises a lot of questions on its own fucking right.
Wow, yeah. Oh, what about you, okay? What have you been up to?
Conquering the world? No. I've just I've been obviously new YouTube channel, Loudmouth Wrestling. Go subscribe. Don't be an imbecile. Still creating podcasts 7 days a week. I'm on the Fight TV app now. Every Monday that gets uploaded, just before Ring of Honor does. So that's pretty cool. What else? I do the Loudmouth MMA show from time to time, and it's cool to pop back on here. It's been a long time. I haven't talked to you guys since 1997.
How old are you?
So it's good
to sperm in 1997.
I was born in '96, so I was about 1 year old.
Christ. I'm pretty sure I discovered my penis by 1996. God damn. Let's talk about fucking professional ass wrestling.
Wrestling, guys. I guess the thing I wanted to talk about the most is just it's not WWE because I really just don't care, but New Japan, man, they had their first ever show in the United States, not co-promoted, not some other guys making appearances. No, it was a straight up New Japan show here in the United States. That's the New Japan G1 and USA special, 2 nights in Long Beach, California. I guess the first question I want to ask is, of course, the first question I always ask is, what do you give it? What do you give it? Win, loss, or tie?
What about you? Okay. You go first.
I gave both a win. Dude, that's quite a while ago now. Oh, shit, when was that? Saturday and Sunday. Dude, it's not. We're now on. It's Thursday morning for me. Dude, you don't understand. Like before, it was like when I was here, it was like, okay, Mondays have to do Raw, Tuesday have to do SmackDown, Wednesday have to do NXT, Thursday have to do Impact, Friday have to do reviewing myself masturbate. And it's like now it's like I'm doing everything but that. Like I generally have not watched Raw and I have not watched SmackDown in about 2 months.
Wow.
Yet I'm reviewing more wrestling than I ever have before in my whole entire life. Like last week alone, Pro Wrestling Noah, Progress, the New Japan shows, Impact's Global Force, whatever the hell they want to call their company anymore.
Who knows?
Like generally there is great pro wrestling out there, and I'm glad I'm here to talk about New Japan with you guys. It's been a while, and I'm glad New Japan. And generally, I have not missed a New Japan review show. I reviewed all the Best of Super Juniors, reviewed all the New Japan Cup. Tomorrow will be a review of the Lionsgate Project show. New Japan Pro Wrestling has become what I used to be like for WWE, and that is the proudest accomplishment of my life.
What about you, Sammy? What do you give it?
I did give both nights a very distinct win. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. That's not to say that I did not have issues with the show, because I definitely did on both nights. But I thoroughly enjoyed both nights.
You know, I enjoyed both nights too, and I give both nights a win. But I think something really weird happened to me like this weekend in terms of professional wrestling. I actually just let it go. You know, I used to have a lot of anger and a lot of stuff built up towards WWE, and I'm like, okay, I can't tell you the last time I watched a Raw or SmackDown, and to be honest, I really don't feel like I've missed anything. And
You really haven't.
I haven't watched any of the pay-per-views. I mean, yeah, I still follow along. Like I'll relay results and everything. I'll try to, read the dirt sheets and then, pop in on people like LK and wrestling and ranting to kind of see what's going on. But I really haven't sat down and watched like a full show, and I haven't. And I just don't feel like I've missed anything. And the reason why I've just kind of let things go is because just I've kind of realized, there comes a point like when you got to start thinking, well, what is this, whatever, and it could be anything. It could be movies, it could be music, it could be, plays, books, whatever. Who is it made for? What is this product made for? And if it's not you, that's fine. I can remember, when I was like 4 years old, like my favorite show was Sesame Street. And, when I got to 6, it was something else. When I got to 10, it was something else. When I got to 13,
and now at the ripe old age of 67, it has went back to being Sesame Street.
Hey, C is for cookie, which is, of course, good enough for me. And so I've just kind of realized that WWE is actually going back to the way it used to be. When you look at the history of WWE, the whole Attitude Era was an anomaly. Because it was building up in the 70s, but in the 80s, it was all like, it was cartoon characters where occupations were the gimmick. There was a plumber, there was a garbage man, there was a repo man, there was a demolition crew. There was just occupations and I think that's what it's gone back to. And WWE doesn't have any incentive to try. And honestly, I don't blame them, because think about it. You make all this money, and you really don't even have to try. I mean, nobody can touch you globally, money-wise. Nobody can touch you. And so, what motivation? What motive do they have to bust their ass? There is none. And I know I'm kind of straying off here from New Japan. It's like, what does this have to do? It's just the presentation. This is just entertainment. Whereas New Japan is presented as a sport.
Yeah.
It's presented like, if wrestling was going to be real, this is kind of how it would be presented. So that's how New Japan is, and that's the type of thing. I'm the demographic that they're aiming for, so it appeals to me. So I started watching it and absolutely loving it. And now, looking at it, was it perfect? No, not by any means. But I think for the first showing, at least here in the United States, I think it was a good first showing. I do think that, and I guess I'll kind of get into this as we do the review here. I think when they booked it, I think they really just overthought the card. They just thought about it way too hard, because I think you really could have. I think the multi-man matches got a little. There was a lot of, but that's par for the course for New Japan. The only match that I really just didn't like, because this is why they overthought it, was Tanahashi versus Billy Gunn.
That match weren't good. It weren't good, and. Just like with WWE and people, you were kind of getting onto a point that I've been making for years about everything in my life, which is I can just turn my brain off and enjoy something. Like that's all I got to do. You have to have a truly horrifically terrible product if I don't at least enjoy it. Because movies, television, books, yada, 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 you just turn your brain off and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But there's a reason that Lucha Underground is still my favorite wrestling show. And there's a reason that these two New Japan shows were really, really good. And I think that was one of them. Now, I think there was more stinkers than just the Tanahashi-Billy Gunn match, which I feel like was a complete waste of Tanahashi. The only thing that came out of that match is that we saw Tanahashi's ass.
Yeah, I just thought that was incredibly tacky. I just thought, okay, Billy Gunn getting his tights yanked, and then he has his tights down up under his butt cheeks, and thank God he was wearing under tights, and just kept wrestling that way. I just thought that was tacky. I thought the tights pull on Tanahashi was just uncalled for. And I was like, come on, guys, you got to be better than that.
It just wasn't a good match. I felt like they put that match together last minute.
Of course. What was worse? Tanahashi and Billy Gunn, or Jim Ross's commentary.
You know what?
Disney Ross
The commentary was unforgivable.
It wasn't very good.
I mean, I sent a tweet to Kevin Kelly, and now did anyone see this? I doubt it. Did he see it? I don't know. I seriously doubt it. I just said, I now really appreciate your commentary. I think Barnett and Ross were completely unprofessional. That's the way I felt.
I think Jim Ross was okay. I feel like Barnett was the unforgivable one.
Whoa.
I said okay, not great, okay.
No. He was abysmal. He was pissed. He was.
It's something about New Japan. People that I really like go commentate over there and just don't give a shit. I don't get it.
Yeah, but he's WWE, isn't he? He's a WWE guy. He's not used to calling wrestling. Obviously, he does the gimmick with Access TV, but that's not live, is it? That's just him sat in a studio.
It's pretty good. Like, if them doing that's fine. There's something about them being live that was bad.
Editing.
It's what?
It's called post-production editing is what that is. Because he's in there, they record it, they can cut out things, they can add things, they can redo the take. You know, they can go, no, hype this up a little bit more. To me, it's like Barnett and Jim Ross just showed up. That's all they did. Yeah. They just showed up to the building because I think the things that – okay, here's some of the things that I found.
They forgot the wrestlers' names a couple times, which I think is the most unforgivable thing.
They mixed up the Briscoes. And then they mistook Evil for Bushi. And I'm like, how the fuck do you even do that? Oh, and they also kept calling Los Ingobernables, well, they're like an NWO DX hybrid. Fuck no, they're not. You just turned the Bullet Club to a fucking team.
How much do you reckon Vince paid Jim to be that shit? On a serious note, how much did Vince pay Jim to be that shit?
I mean, they kept dropping WWE references. Barnett kept referring to like every like Impact move as like a flatliner.
Yeah, everything was a flatliner, and I was like, that's not a flatliner.
That's not like a flatliner. They completely botched, they called it a scorpion death. Like, there's a reason why, and I'm going to get to this later, but there's a reason why the Young Bucks did this sharpshooter. It was a tribute to Smith Hart, who just passed away.
Yeah.
And that was and he completely missed it. They completely skipped over it. And Wrestling and Ranting, and I don't know if you checked out his videos. And if you're not subscribed to him, kids, go check him out. He's really
good. Please
do.
Ranting's awesome.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. He laid out Jim Ross over the whole, at the very end, you know, there's Kenny Omega. He used this passionate speech, and then Jim Ross was like, well, good luck with that. Well, who am I to, you know, question Kenny Omega? And I'm like, seriously? I mean, it got bad, like, to the point where, like, the Young Bucks called out Barnett while they were in the ring second night.
Really?
Yeah.
Go back.
Go back. They do a spot with Roppongi Vice, and then I think it was Jim Ross who said, you know, Josh, do you think that the Young Bucks are tired of these comparisons to the Hardy Boys? And then, you know, Matt Jackson looks over and is like, are you having a good time burying us on commentary, Josh? Huh? Is it fun?
Wow. Yeah, this is the same shit we were getting on about Matt Stryker about, you know, a couple of years ago now. It's just something about if you do New Japan, you just don't give a shit for some reason.
That's actually kind of funny because Stryker, when he did Wrestle Kingdom 9, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 9. I think it was 9 where he did that with Jim. Yeah, he did that with Jim Ross. Stryker released all these videos, like saying, "Okay, here's who these guys are in this match. Here's what you can expect to see." So he knew his stuff, and he was just following the lead of Jim Ross. And just Jim Ross and Barnett again, just it looked like they were completely unprepared. They didn't do their homework. It's like they just showed up. And
I think that was one of my biggest overall problems with the show. Again, not every match, most matches were great. There were 2 or 3 matches in there to me that are match of the year candidates. They were absolutely phenomenal. And we'll get into it. I promise we're actually going to review this cocksucker here in a little bit. But it's been my biggest problem with New Japan for a year or two now, and that, yeah, the matches are great, but the accessibility to their product is abysmal.
Whoa.
You're not going to fucking... It's the accessing getting into and explaining to me, "Way, how is this different than what else is out there?" They're terrible at it. Because even just watching it visually, it just looked like a really fancy Ring of Honor pay-per-view. They're in the ring, it didn't. But they probably used Ring of Honor gear, if I'm not
set. That is generally the Ring of Honor set that they use on a week-to-week basis.
That doesn't surprise me.
But to access it, NJPW World. It's exactly the same. That's like saying I don't know how to access a WWE pay-per-view.
No. You're not. You two different things. And even then, it's not terribly easy to navigate that site, even with Google Translate.
There's an English. There's Germany. They've done an update now. They did an update last month, and there's now an English button. There's a full English button that you click right at the top of the page. One button does not excite me. And even then, try and unsubscribe from that motherfucker. It's not easy. But they haven't done a very good job to me of saying, we're New Japan, here's what makes us different, here's why you should watch us, here's what makes us the best wrestling in the world. It's just like, we're the best wrestling in the world, and, come and find us. And I think that's the problem. It's easy. New Japan World. It doesn't take a great search to go over there.
Site's there. Go to the site. Hell, I'll watch it every now and then. It's a difficult site to navigate in that regard, but that's not what I'm saying. Just
you making the click shows, and it's in chronological order. Like how?
Mind you, it's been a little while since I've jumped on there. But when I jumped on there, finding anything was extremely difficult. And it's like if I want to go back and watch the old stuff, it was hard to find things, and not so much just like the site. Just like I know this is them kind of breaking into the American market, and the matches were absolutely fantastic. But they need to make it like accessible to anybody that's a wrestling fan, not just people like us. And before I say that, don't the WWE thing make it accessible to everybody. Just getting into the product can be really difficult because they're not doing a good enough job explaining what New Japan is. It's more like, come and find us if you want to find us. And once they can hit that hurdle, I don't see any reason why they can't be, the sky's the limit.
Well, I mean, they are going to be trying to explain that. I mean, this was their very first attempt to break into the United States market. Yeah. There's talks of reopening the Los Angeles New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo, so you'll have that. Also, they promised to be back in 2018. I'm thinking they may actually, at least I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Now, this is pure speculation here, but I'm hoping they at least run a tour of the United States.
That's what I read. That's what I read today, that I think they're doing that. If that's the case, why can't the fuckers come over to the UK? Come on. Toilets.
I have no doubt all of this is coming. It's just, it's a different culture over there, so I guess we got to be patient with them.
Yeah. And by the way, if you don't follow some of these guys on Twitter, I would recommend it because it was actually really entertaining. Hiromu Takahashi went to Disney World.
I bet that was a fucking trip.
Disneyland, because that's in California. But he went there like he's just got the little Mickey Mouse hat on. He's got the little stuffed kitty, and he's just like, okay, here I am in Disneyland.
My favorite picture I saw was of Gedo, Okada, and Ishii all eating in a In-N-Out burger, and Gedo and Okada are just like smiling, looking at the camera, and Ishii's just staring at a cheeseburger. It was great. So, let's start breaking this bad boy down.
All right. I'm kind of going to want to zip through this real quick because I know LK can't spend forever doing this, but let's just I'm going to kind of like hit the highlights here. I do think it was great to see. Okay, let's just go to the first one here. We had multi-man action. We had Roppongi Vice, Will Ospreay, and the Briscoes versus the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Yujiro Takahashi, and Bad Luck Fale. I think it was a decent opener.
It was all right. I mean, there was nothing more to it or more or less than that. It was okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we had Luchador action next. We had Teton, Dragon Lee, Volador Jr., and Jushin Thunder Liger, who's going to be hanging it up soon.
God damn, he's 1,000 years old.
Yeah, I know. I think it's like him and Muda. I think they're like already dead. They just don't know it yet. They're like zombies or something. They took on LIJ. LIJ gets the Duke on that one. Then we had, here we go, the U.S. title tournament match. Jay Lethal versus Hangman Page. I thought this was an okay match. I just don't think Page is quite there yet. He's on his way, but he's not quite there yet. And here's another thing, and this is a nitpicky thing. I kind of wish they didn't call it the New Japan the IWGP United States Championship for this one reason, because you had Americans, you had Canadians, you had Japanese, you had a Brit. I kind of wish they would have called it the IWGP North American Championship, because you're thinking long term, you can, I mean, you've already got an affiliation with CMLL down in Mexico, and of course your affiliation with Ring of Honor in the United States, and then I think, with when you got people like Elgin and Omega, you certainly wouldn't want to take Canada off the table. So I think it might have been more encompassing and made more sense to call it the North American Championship as opposed to just the United States Championship. But like I said, that's just a minor complaint.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally get what you're saying. It can be kind of nitpicky, but I definitely get what you're picking up. Like, I understand.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
oh, and by the way, Sammy, am I the only one who does not hate what that belt looks like?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought that thing was hideous.
It's like
I generally like the design. It kind of because the thing I liked is there's the red white gimmick for the American flag, because the Americans they love their countries. You guys have a day off once every 2 weeks for a national holiday. That's kind of you guys' gimmicks.
I don't know what fucking country you're looking at, brother. I get 1 day off every 7 months.
Yeah, but you have national holidays, give or take, once every 3 weeks. Do you even take national holidays for Halloween, Christmas, Easter, Toilet Sunday?
Maybe 3 days a year are a national holiday that everyone actually gets off. Genuinely.
Right, so you got Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Christmas,
and sometimes Easter, and that's it.
So Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, July the 4th.
We don't get off for July.
You guys probably take Halloween.
No, we don't take all Halloween. We'll get Memorial Day, Labor Day.
If you're lucky.
5th.
No, I don't think we did. No, Veterans Day, maybe.
Yeah.
6. Do you know how many we have? We have 1. We have 1. It's called Christmas.
But you got 10,000 feast days for saints and shit for people that probably aren't real.
But
plus, y'all are still going everywhere in buggy and carriages and got flintlock pistols and top hats. So come on. No wonder you don't have holidays, because it takes you fucking 18 years to get anywhere on that goddamn island. What the fuck were we talking about? I don't even remember now.
We were talking about
that belt. But to me, I don't like the aesthetic of any of New Japan's belts. I just don't like that kind of floral, kind of vague pattern to everything. I don't like them.
But no, I like the fact that both Lethal and Page were in it. I was thinking maybe one of them might make it to the finals. But Lethal selling the ribs, they kind of gave him the out because they didn't want to see the Ring of Honor guy get completely embarrassed in there, especially if he's not going to win the thing. So they gave him the out with the the injured rib stories, but he pulls off the win. Next, we had a really good match here. This was Juice Robinson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I thought this match was pretty. It was great. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. Juice Robinson genuinely really impressed me. We give him shit all the time, but the kid showed a lot of talent in this match, and you can't say that it was all on Zack Sabre Jr., as great as he is.
Zack Sabre Jr., he is the personification of technical wrestling. Usually when technical wrestling, if I could channel Dave Coco here, technical wrestling is usually what bad wrestlers say when they can't wrestle, so they hold an arm bar for 5 minutes. No, I'm a technical wrestler. No, Zack Sabre Jr. is a technical wrestler, and he's entertaining as fuck.
Yeah, he's what I think of when I think of Snake Pit, Caddis Catch Can style wrestling.
Yeah, he's so entertaining to watch. I love watching him wrestle. And Juice Robinson, right now, I know we're about halfway through the year, but right now he's my leading candidate for Most Improved Wrestler of the Year.
I don't think that's an unfair assumption.
I mean, he's come a long way. He's come a really. I mean, he hasn't gotten over that hump yet, but when he does, I think he's going to be something spectacular.
So one thing that came out of this match, beyond the fact that it was very, very entertaining, is the guy I was watching it and I was kind of live chatting with a friend of mine and we were watching it. We made up a new game to make old school classic wrestlers, which is a food name and then a common last name. And I do think my favorite one that came out of that was like a Hamburger Johnson, and like a Ribs Jones. We made like 10,000 of them, and like any of them could have been a wrestler in WWE, WWF in like '81. Any of them. Taters O'Hallahan, I think that was another one.
I love that one.
See, this is where you have to. Thankfully, you guys have all these national holidays, so you can come up with this stuff.
I don't know what holidays you think I get off. I got off one fucking day this year because the store was actually closed.
That was Christmas.
It was Christmas, and I had to beg for it in the streets. You know, like your orphan children that sit on the side of the roads and hawk newspapers and spit shines for whatever type of weird-ass fucking Harry Potter money y'all got over there.
A farthing.
Dude, Harry Potter. Out of everything that's English, you say Harry fucking Potter.
Yeah, it was the first stupid fantasy thing that I thought of right at the top of my head.
Couldn't you say like Sherlock Holmes or something classical and legendary like that? Not fucking Harry Potter. No. Barry Trotter.
Here's fucking Sherlock Holmes. He's a national hero. He was just on heroin. Excuse me, cocaine. Actually, I've read those books. They're good, but god damn, are they boring as fuck.
I actually like had the audio books of Sherlock Holmes, and they're actually really, really good. Like they're generally really, really good. Oh yeah, dude, I can't. I like audiobooks, but I don't like reading books. Like it's really fucking weird how that's true. Like, oh yeah, I love books. What books you read? I don't read. I listen to them, mate. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, you peasant? What match did we have?
All right,
was that the Jay White match?
No, this was like another. This was an 8-man tag. You had Dave Finlay, Jay White, Kushida, Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on the Tempura Boys, Yoshitatsu and Billy Gunn. Kushida's fucking over.
Oh, Kushida is one of my favorites in the world right now. Anyone that says Kushida isn't one of the best in the world, I think, is wrong. Is flat out wrong. Yeah. That being said, I didn't super enjoy this match. Everyone keeps telling me how great Jay White is. Jay White's going to be the next big thing. But every time I see him, I'm just not terribly impressed. So maybe I'm missing something.
Watch his match, Sammy, with Will Ospreay at Ring of Honor's 15th anniversary show.
Okay.
Or 16th, whatever it was. Go back and watch that. That was a really, really good match.
Okay. I want to believe because I see the talent in the guy, but I haven't seen those my own 2 eyes yet.
Yeah, right now that's what they're doing. They're kind of molding him right now. They're kind of giving him like a gimmick and everything. Because that's typically what happens when you graduate from the New Japan Dojo, from the Young Lion program. They send you on excursion.
Yeah.
And when you go to an excursion, you kind of like develop your character, and then when they ship you back to, New Japan, you're ready to go. I mean, they did that with Naito. They sent him on excursion to CMLL. The rest is history. Same thing with Takahashi. They sent him to CMLL. Evil, remember he was Takaki Watanabe over Ring of Honor. But they run him through that program. They bring him back. They go, okay, now you're going to be Evil, and that's the way it goes. I was actually kind of impressed with the Tempura Boys. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of them.
Every time I see them, I'm kind of like, these guys are pretty entertaining. Their biggest problem is that they have a terrible goddamn name.
They said allegedly they chose it themselves, so why not?
I fucking believe it.
Why not? I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of get in the junior heavyweight tag division, and just so that would be something different than seeing, the Bucks versus Roppongi Vice, the Bucks versus whatever 2 guys they slapped together. It'd just be something different.
I don't think that's unfair.
All right. Next, we saw the Guerrillas of Destiny taking on War Machine. This was turned into a no disqualification match, and it was a good big man battle, but I really don't think there was all that much, like chairs and weapons and everything that was supposed, it kind of defeated the whole purpose of, being a no disqualification. It was, okay, well, you're going to use weapons anyway. Well, guess what? We're going to use weapons too. And then they just kind of, I felt like they just left a lot on the table.
It felt
I
like
really
to
like
me
this match.
that I was just waiting for the next gear to pick up. I was like, come on, pick up. And then they hit Fallout to get the win. I was like, okay. Like, cool. I like, as much as I've been praising New Japan, I think their tag division is very weak.
Oh yeah, I think we can win the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships if we really wanted to, because there's really nobody to get in our way.
Like, literally, that's what it's going to be. And I guarantee at the G1 Climax Finals, we're probably going to get War Machine versus Guerrillas of Destiny again, unless they slap together a 10 Goji for a 19th reunion run. Yeah. I don't know what they could do.
And that's kind of one of the problems with New Japan. You know, people with all the great that New Japan does, they can kind of book themselves into a corner. Like, yeah, you can see the same people have a match 4 or 5 times. They might all be good matches. One of them might be great, but at least for American audiences, I don't want to say American, for Western audiences, we can get burnt real quick. It's like, okay, we've seen this match. You know, like and New Japan doesn't do a ton of gimmick matches.
I think the only reason they did this was solely so that way they could have a title change over in Long Beach.
I don't disagree, but I mean, how many more times are we going to see War Machine versus Guerrillas Destiny?
And the Guerrillas are not that good.
Well, one half of the Guerrillas is pretty damn good. The other half, not so much.
Yeah, Tama Tonga, I think he's pretty good.
Tama Tonga's great. Tongaroa is not good.
No.
He is probably the worst member of Bullet Club.
Whoa, Bad Luck Fale. Triple F.
No,
Triple F, Bad Luck Fale.
Bad Luck Fale at least had some really damn good matches with Okada.
Dude, yeah, but then a fucking garbage can could have a good match for Okada. Triple F is by far the worst member of Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree on that one.
Including Chase Owens?
Yeah, where the fuck did that come from?
Dude, the local independent wrestler, Chase Owens, that's horrible, I'm sorry. He is better, in my opinion, than Triple F. I think Triple F is fucking garbage.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad. I mean, he's not great by any means, but there's some weird shit that happened there.
Yeah, and the one I think stole the show was the Tomohiro Ishii versus Tetsuya Naito.
Why in God's name does Ishii not have a really good, long title run?
You know, I was actually going to say that. I was going to say, you know, if Tanahashi has to, like, you know, vacate the title or lose it to go get his bicep taken care of, Ishii is someone I would love to see become the Intercontinental Champion and carry that belt for a while.
I don't disagree. You know what match, honestly, I want to see that I don't think New Japan is – no, I don't want to say it like that. I don't think New Japan would take the risk and do this. I want to see the Ishii separate himself from Chaos and then have him go against Okada in a very Hogan, Andre, we were buddies, but I want that goddamn belt kind of story. Because I think he is somebody that is impressive enough and that he could be a great champion. But New Japan is smart enough to know that Okada he can be the face of the company because he's kind of a pretty boy and he's hellaciously talented.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my opinion, like over the past year and a half, 2 years, he's really picked up his game.
Yeah, who's again?
Best pro wrestler in the world.
Ishii. He's really picked up his game.
Ishii's, I think, one of the best in the world. Easy.
You were saying okay?
I'm not saying he's not great. I'm just saying Okada's better.
No, I don't disagree. I'm just saying I think he would be. We were just saying we think Ishii would be a great Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, there's certain wrestlers that look better with a belt on them, and I think Ishii's one of them.
Then we had the Canadians fight it out. We had Michael Elgin versus Kenny Omega.
This was my favorite match of both nights.
Mm-hmm.
By far. And we can say that, you know, Omega carried his weight and did that and carried it, but even – and this is what I hate when they say about a lot of other people, and especially in WWE, it's like, oh, so-and-so carried them. Well, that other person has to have talent to have that good of a match. So let's not downplay how good Michael Elgin was in this match. He had a fantastic match, as good as Omega was. And then this match was fucking phenomenal.
Japan saved Elgin's career.
It might have. It might have.
He's doing it. He's running his own promotion now called Glory Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
So yeah, he's definitely that's why he's not with Ring of Honor anymore.
Oh,
He's doing his own stuff for Glory Pro Wrestling, which is his own
I
company.
remember that. You know, it was either last year or the year before. I think it was the year before. Ring of Honor, you know, they said, okay, we're going to send somebody. Ring of Honor, we're going to send somebody over to New Japan for the G1 tournament. We're like, okay, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Is it Adam Cole?
Strong.
You know, yeah. Is it Roderick Strong? Is it, you know, who is it? And they're like, oh, we're going to send Michael Elgin. And we're like, oh, God damn it. Sorry, Japan. This is really not kind of what we're about over here. And then he just blew it. I mean, it's like a totally different human being went over to Japan. And then he comes back, and then he finishes out Ring of Honor. New Japan scoops him up, and it's.
Is he signed with New Japan?
Yeah, he's signed with New Japan.
I mean, God damn, the guy's talented.
Yeah, he's not with Ring of Honor anymore at all, which is a tragic shame. Anyway, gentlemen, it's nearly 3:30 a.m. I've got to be up early tomorrow. Appreciate coming on. It was good fun. We need to do this a lot more. It should not be 6 months since we talked to our Joe. It shouldn't be 3 months off.
Fucking
it
real
shouldn't
life
be 3 months. It was, yeah, because if I left in March and we're now in early July, so that's unacceptable how long it's been. I'm always just a direct message away or a Facebook message over you hipsters these days use. Boom's ghosts telling me to fuck off. But Infantry, it was a pleasure as always for coming on. Yeah, so just subscribe to the KocoSports YouTube channel, and it was a pleasure, guys, and I'll see you sometime down the line.
Where can we watch your shit?
On YouTube at Loudmouth Wrestling, on the Fight TV app, Loudmouth Wrestling, creative name, and Twitter at LM_wrestling, Facebook, facebook.com/Loudmouth Wrestling. That's the shtick, and it was a pleasure, guys. Thanks for letting me promote myself, and until next time, bye-bye.
Adios, Game Padre.
See you later, brother.
See ya, bye-bye.
We shall truck on for the betterment of mankind. So that was the end of night one, was it not?
No, we had one more. We had Okada versus Cody.
This was the match I was honestly most excited about.
Looking at it was a good match.
I think it was a damn good match.
I think Cody's good. He's not great, not yet anyhow. He's better. He's doing better than what he was in WWE.
Agreed.
But is he among the all-time like the greatest right now? And outside of WWE and the independents, no.
I mean, I don't disagree. He's had a lot of people kind of shit on him, which I think is unfair. He's one of my favorites in the world right now by far.
I will say this: I'm so glad that he's actually playing a really good bad guy. He's playing
a great bad guy. He got booed, and I loved it.
People genuinely fucking hate him.
And I love him. That's why I want a fucking American Nightmare shirt super bad. I really want one. And man, honestly, I really, really like this match. The one thing I would have changed, and it's one thing, and it would have made a superstar out of Cody. It would have been a great story. It would have put insane amounts of heat on him, and you could have done. I know where I would have wrote it to, and I love this match. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had Cody win with the one-winged angel. Yeah, I think that would have blown the fucking roof off the internet.
Oh, that would have shut it down. It would have melted it. It would have melted Twitter.
It would, and he could have lost it the very next night. I'd have been okay with that. But just to have that, and with. Spoiler, when Omega 1 have him come out there and be like, yeah, you're great, but we've all had a consensus, and you're just not good enough to make it anymore. And then kick fucking Omega out of the Bullet Club, because he's a babyface, let's be honest. He's a face. And then have him go off on his own solid thing as a singles guy, and then solidify Cody as the head of the Bullet Club. That's the story I would have told. And I think they're kind of heading that way anyway, but I just think that would have sent it off.
Yeah, I mean, that's just there's many different things you could have done, but right now Okada's the man.
Agreed. And for better or for worse, I know a lot of people with me, a lot of super New Japan fans, they to me can be, sorry guys, kind of like Impact fans, and that they refuse to see the bad, or like they refuse to admit it. Because as great as Okada is, and I think Okada is amazing, I get fucking tired of seeing him. Like, he's so oversaturated. And I'm a guy that just personally, I'm a fan of belt changes. And it's just, I want to see that getting shaked up. You know, I want to see that shaken up.
Here's another thing. Do you realize, Sammy, over the past decade, only 4 men have held that IWGP Heavyweight Championship? Only 4?
In how many years?
Over the past decade.
Only 4 men have held that in a day. What, Tanahashi, Okada, AJ Styles, and Naito?
Yeah.
See, that's problematic to me. Like, and I know people will defend that staunchly, but I just get fucking, and like, because they're doing what WWE did in the 80s, which is you pick one person and you ride that motherfucker until they literally cannot carry the company anymore. And sure, yeah, that works, but today with the modern Western audiences, I don't think that works as well.
You know, I was like you. I was kind of like, you know, it's like, come on, man, let's just give somebody else the shot. Come on, Okada, just drop the bell. Oh, this is nepotism. And I was like, you know what? It actually kind of makes sense, because for you to be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, right now, the way the company's being run, you have to be the best of the best to carry. Just being a good wrestler is not good enough. Being the best
I agree. And let's not be so naive here to think that New Japan isn't smart enough to have the John Cena effect, because Okada is someone you can take pictures with. Okada is someone you can put on the magazines. Okada is someone that can go do the talk shows and the radio shows. Okada is the guy you can put a mic of, and you can have him be the literal face of the company. Let's not be naive and not think that has a large part to do with this. Which is fair, because I think, again, Okada is one of the best in the absolute world at what he does. And you know what's weird about Okada to me? Is he's so fucking good, but I don't know. It's weird. He doesn't do a lot in the ring, honestly. But what he does, it's just so fucking good. And one of the things I think makes him and Omega so good, the Rainmaker is a great finisher, and here's why it's a great finisher. It's easily counterable, and it's believable that you can kick out of it if he hits you with it. It's the combo with the tombstone that makes it so deadly. And with with Omega and Okada, their kick out.
Plus, you can sell that drama, because he hits you with a Rainmaker, you go down, but he hangs on to the wrist.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great. Maintaining wrist control, that's a great, I mean, that's just dramatic storytelling right there with your body. That's amazing.
As great as everyone said the Omega Okada match #1 is, and both those matches are fucking, God, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I think the Tanahashi Okada match from 10, was it 11 or 10?
Say that again?
The Okada Tanahashi match for the heavyweight championship at Wrestle Kingdom 10, maybe? Or 10 or 11?
They did it 2 times. So
the second time. I think that was the better match. And because that was the story they told where he didn't let go of the wrist. And it was just, oh my God, it was fucking amazing.
It was Wrestle Kingdom 9. All bets were that Okada was going to win, but Tanahashi successfully defended at Wrestle Kingdom. And Tanahashi got on the microphone afterwards and said, "You're pretty good, but you're not quite ready to be the ace yet." Mm-hmm. And then the very next year, the roles were reversed. You had Okada come in as the champion. Tanahashi, came in, and it was just Okada had to beat Tanahashi and retain the championship at Wrestle Kingdom, and he did that. He finally got over that hump. That was a good story. What they're doing with Okada Omega is we're guaranteed. We're guaranteed Omega Okada 3. And what I think is going to happen is now, okay, first you see these two go to war at Wrestle Kingdom. Mm-hmm. This is at least what I think they're doing. They go to war at Wrestle Kingdom. They put on a 45-minute match. They break the Meltzer scale.
Meltzer sucked my dick over that, by the way. Meltzer's such a conceited asshole.
Well, that's a different story for a different day. But he retains the championship. Well, then they go again. Okada's like, no. You know what? I'm tired of everybody talking about how I barely survived that. They said that you were the real star of that match. No, let's do it one more time. And ahead of what Omega wanted, and then they go for an hour and they tie. again,
it was a fantastic match. Both of them are fucking amazing.
well, what I think happens now is in the G1 climax with the championship not on the line. I think
Is it not on the line?
No, not during the tournament match.
Oh, okay, during the tournament match. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. During the tournament, they're both in the same block, which means they have to wrestle each other.
Yeah.
I think this is the one, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is I think Omega is going to hit the one-winged angel in the middle of the ring. He's finally going to get the pinfall victory over Okada, and no matter what happens, at that point, the story's going to be, it doesn't matter, the IWGP Championship, it's going to be better if it's on the line, but it doesn't have, at that point, it's going to have to be the rubber match because you'll have a win, a loss, and a tie.
Yeah.
So you'll have like the fourth one will be the deciding. This will be the rubber match. This will be, we're going to finally see who's better. And if I could take one moment here, I need to compose a letter, so let me get my pen ready. Sugabayashi is the chairman, but I'm going to call him for this purposes Chairman Sugar Daddy. Dear Chairman Sugar Daddy, please take a U-Haul truck and fill it up with money. Then go dump it at the front doorstep of Kenny Omega's home. Please, for the love of God and all that is holy, keep him in New Japan. He is too good for you to let go. Please, he is worth every dime that you're going to spend on him. We'll make your money back, and he will keep us happy. Sincerely, everyone who loves wrestling. There we go.
Yeah. And I think they're smart enough to know that they need a gaijin to be at least the Western face of their company. And that's, say what you want for Japan. They can be very, very xenocentric, or xenocentric, I guess is the word. And they need to break that habit.
There's a reason for that. And I asked Dave about that. This was years ago, by the way. Mm-hmm. And that was the whole purpose of the Bullet Club getting together. It was because when you look down at it, everybody that they put that IWGP Heavyweight Championship on that was from the West, they turned around and in one way or another, they burned New Japan. Scott Norton, he had to go back to WCW. Bob Sapp, he had to vacate the title and go back to the U.S. Brock Lesnar, they went to bat for
I thought you said wrestlers. You said Brock Lesnar on that last one. We were talking about wrestlers.
Yeah, but remember, New Japan went to court. They, because this was back after he quit the then WWF. He didn't quite make the Vikings roster. He just missed out on the final cut. He hadn't got into either he was just getting into or was about to get into the UFC. Anyway, New Japan went to court with him, and because they were trying to say that New Japan was nowhere near direct competition with WWE because they're in Japan, the WWE's over in the United States. They went through all that trouble. They put the championship on him, and not only did he no-show the event, he took the fucking championship belt with him.
Wow, he's such a piece of shit.
I know. And so after that, the New Japan was very apprehensive about putting the championship on a Westerner. So you had all the foreign guys in New Japan get together, and they pretty much said, okay, we're going to make our own opportunities. They formed Bullet Club. And I honestly think had Kenny Omega going into that Wrestle Kingdom had signed long term with New Japan, there's no doubt in my mind he'd be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion right now. No doubt.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
But enough of that. But I did like Okada's match with Cody. I liked how they brought in a little bit more of the drama. They've got it set up here where if Omega resigns, they can go one way with the story, but if he doesn't, you've got the road completely paved right now for Cody to take over. Because remember, they teased in throwing in the towel because this was kind of a flashback to Dominion when Cody was thinking about throwing in the towel, for Omega against Okada. Well, this time Omega pays back the favor. He hands the towel to Brandy, and by the way, she looked great in that dress. By the way, I was just throwing it. And by the way, how does she get that damn good bronze tan? That's what I want to know.
Anyway, what's that?
How does she get that just beautiful bronze tan?
Do we need to have a science lesson?
I mean, it's just like perfect. I mean, an absolutely perfect bronze tan. I mean, just use like a bronzer. I mean, how much time does she spend in a tanning bed? I'm just kind of curious. It's just little things that like that just kind of pop in my mind.
Well, I guess somebody's got to fucking think these things.
Exactly.
Boom's here to save the day.
Might as well be me. But I love that. I do, like you said, I love Cody's used to using one winged angel, but eventually Okada pulls it out. Beautiful. I think it was a great first night.
I agree. I think the first night was better than the second night, personally. Not to say the second night was bad by any means. The second night was fantastic.
Yeah, let's get into it here. Unless you've got any really things to say, I'm going to kind of just brush through some of the undercard here. So just respect.
Did we skip the Kushida Tanahashi match, or was that not too? Takahashi. Did they have a No, I'm thinking of Dominion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was Dominion.
Yeah.
Anyway, you had Finlay, Liger, Kushida taking on Sho Tanaka, or actually the Tempura Boys and Yoshitatsu. And everybody got a pop except for poor Yoshitatsu.
Yeah, it's no one gives.
I still like Yoshitatsu. He's awesome, and he also kicked the shit out of like Sheamus, so that like puts him way up there in my book.
He kicked the shit out of what?
Out of Sheamus, for real.
Oh yeah. How many people has fucking Sheamus gotten a fight with? Like Sheamus and Kalisto have gotten so many fucking fights backstage.
Then we got to the first of the semifinal matches. We had Jay Lethal versus Kenny Omega. Omega goes over like Rover. Lethal. I mean,
it was probably one of the stinkers of night two.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad, but
no.
I just knew there's no way Lethal's winning this.
No, like it's honestly instead of Lethal, I would have rather have seen Dalton Castle.
Mm-hmm.
But Dalton Castle is also one of my most favorites.
Yeah.
By the way, I had no idea that the Briscoes were part of Chaos. And like people want to get on to the Bullet Club for being like, oh, it's getting watered down. There's too many members. There's 400,000 people. I'm fairly certain I'm in Chaos, and I own Bullet Club shirts.
It's like you got that. Like you just got that in the mail along with like samples of Tide. Hey, congratulations, you're in Chaos.
Like what the fuck did this happen? Also, it was quite detour real quick. Had no fucking clue that Zack Sabre Jr. was in Suzuki Gun.
Oh yeah, he joined them like months ago, like when he beat Shibata for the British Heavyweight Championship. It was what did it was I think it's New Beginnings in Osaka, I think.
Yeah, I had no fucking clue. By the way, I'm mistaken. I looked over in the comments real quick. I just pulled him up. Sin Cara, not Kalisto. I said Kalisto got in a bunch of fights.
Yeah.
Sin Cara's got in a bunch of fights. My beat.
But actually, speaking of Zack Sabre Jr., he took on Tomohiro Ishii in a great match. My God, dude.
Damn, Ishii. So good. Both of these guys are fantastic.
I love the submission spots where he was grabbing a hold of everything he could on Ishii and torquing it, trying to get him to submit. And finally, the only thing that Ishii had left was like a leg, and that's the only thing he could put on the bottom rope to break the hold. That was like that was like a really good spot. I enjoyed that.
I love Ishii. Ishii was already somebody I really liked. And then after time, I'm like, God damn, he might be one of my favorites. You know what he looks like? He looks like that Buddha statue that's in every Chinese restaurant gained sentience and went to the gym.
Yeah, I think he might have a birth defect because I'm pretty sure Ishii does not have a neck.
No. His jaw goes directly into his chest.
Yes, and I think his trapezius goes directly to his earlobes. He's got like no neck whatsoever.
No,
he's badass. But you know what? I would say yes, sir. No, sir. Don't whoop my ass. Don't hit me with that.
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, pretty much. I think he could hurt me. Actually, yeah, I knew he could hurt me.
Yeah. On that subject, just for Wrestling Ranted, Minoru Suzuki's the goofiest looking fucker in all of professional wrestling. Maybe on the planet, that goofy looking fuck. I'll tell him to his goddamn face. Oh, he Rakadisaprin. He have much goofiness about him. Goofy looking shit.
That is somebody I kind of wish they would have put on this tour.
Yeah, I was really surprised that there was no, like, to me, when I think of New Japan and something I want to tell to the West is like, yeah, we've got 5 factions and you belong to those factions and it's a war in New Japan for who's going to reign supreme amongst those factions. No Suzuki-gun in this. They barely mentioned that Zack Sabre Jr. was part of Suzuki-gun.
Yeah. But then again, I think maybe it's for everybody else's safety.
Yeah, I went and did some research on him. The guy's a legit motherfucking badass.
The guy submitted Ken Shamrock twice.
Yeah.
In his prime.
Oh yeah, he's a goofy looking shit though.
Well, can you imagine that? Like, he just shows up in California and somebody starts making fun of his haircut.
Looking like Snoopy.
Yeah, I mean, there's an international incident whatsoever. Jim Ross actually said it best, like at Wrestle Kingdom 9. Mm-hmm. He just said, thank God there's things like professional wrestling and mixed martial arts, because otherwise Suzuki would probably be in jail.
Probably. He's a scary-looking cocksucker.
Yes, he is. He's scary as fuck. Okay, next we had some lucha action here. Dragon Lee, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Teton, and Volador Jr. versus Los Ingobernables de Japan, the entire faction there.
Sonata, best worst hair in all of professional wrestling.
Oh, absolutely.
It is anime here.
Yes, it is. He's kind of got like this 50s greaser look to him.
He's got a great look. The kid's got a great look. And there's something about the dynamic. Even though I'm a Bullet Club guy, and I'm a Bullet Club guy to the day I'm dead. Bullet Club for life. There's just something intoxicating about the look and the dynamic of Los Ingobernables.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, and then, by the way, can I bust the balls of commentary again?
Please.
Well, last time we saw Volador Jr., he didn't have a mask on, but now he's got a mask on. I wonder why that is.
Because that's not Volador Jr.
And I'm like, dude, you need to be like, ask those questions. Be like, well, we tried to get a hold of him backstage, and he wouldn't say anything. I mean, you could have done something else other than just to go, well, he's wearing a mask. We don't know why.
It was dumb. Mind you, great fucking lucha action here. Like, legit Mexican lucha, not like a watered-down, Americanized, or a hard style, strong style Japanese version of Lucha Libre. It was full-on Lucha Libre. And Dragon Lee is somebody that I have my eyes on.
Oh, by the way, Dragon Lee, Hiromu Takahashi, I think these two guys, they're going to be like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
They're just destined to fight each other forever.
Yeah, we're destined to do this forever.
But I was actually surprised that the good guys got the win on this one.
I was too. I guess you had to have fucking Los Ingobernables lose at least a match.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Then you had Team Bullet Club versus Michael Elgin and War Machine. Bullet Club. Believe it or not, Heyman Page hit Rite of Passage.
Yeah.
He hit Raymond Rowe with Raymond Rowe of all people. Not a small guy. In fact, none of those guys were small.
Dude, I fucking love War Machine. Like, I didn't realize how much I liked them until they came out in that gear I hadn't seen in a while. I'm like, oh, they're Chaos Warriors from Warhammer. Like, they are the world's tallest dwarf berserkers. Like, that is what they are. And they're super talented, dude.
Next, we had the Young Bucks versus Roppongi Vice, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on the line.
Okay, guys, I'm going to pause it before Booms has to say something. I have to say this.
Okay.
And I can get the shit. I need to retract my previous statements. I've said it before. Like, I still stand by my stance, but I have to take back something I said. I don't hate the Young Bucks. They are talented. They're fun to watch. They're not shit. I don't hate on them like I used to. I've watched tons of their matches now. Specifically ones in Japan, not so much ones in Ring of Honor, and then their stuff in PWG. They're really talented. They just tell a different kind of story in the ring. It's not always a story that I enjoy, but they're so fucking good.
All right. Well, I looked at this was another good match. Part of the course. Now, as I mentioned earlier on in the show, they had a lot of fun. They took a direct shot at Josh Barnett, which I would recommend you just because.
I recall it now.
Because what I loved about that was after they said, oh, you having a good time bearing some commentary there, Josh? Is it fun? If you look carefully, you can see JR and Barnett like stop what they're doing, like stare at each other, and Barnett's like, I would never, I didn't bury them. Were they, I'm sorry. I enjoyed them getting their asses called out for basically doing a piss poor job.
I'm not a big fan of Josh Barnett. I'm really not in anything he does. But that's neither here nor there. This match was fantastic, though. But if I have to see another fucking Young Bucks Roppongi Vice match, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I am tired of these two.
Well, it's actually funny you should mention that. By the way, after seeing that just insane Meltzer driver from the outside, they finish it off with some sharpshooters. They kept calling them Scorpion Deathlocks, but as I mentioned, the reason why they did the Meltzer driver for Dave Meltzer. His dad passed away suddenly.
Yes.
So they said, okay, we're going to do something for Uncle Dave. So they did that. And then they locked in the sharpshooter, which, again, JR and Barnett kept calling it the Scorpion Deathlock. Well, what's the difference between a Scorpion Deathlock and a sharpshooter? Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Like, then what?
And they missed out on something there. I mean, they missed out on something sweet. It's like, oh, they said they were going to do this earlier. They said it's going to do a sharpshooter. They're doing it for the late, great Smith Hart, who just passed away. So
I can get not calling that out specifically because you still do have to have them be heels.
Mm-hmm.
But, at least call it the sharpshooter. But this match was fantastic. Beretta, though, has got to stop taking bumps that scare me.
Yeah, I know that those flatbacks on the ramp.
They're scaring me. The one at Wrestle Kingdom was worse, but that one was still scary. He's taking some major hits on his bump card that I'm going to need him to chill the fuck out on.
Yeah, I know. Well, after this one, first you had Ricochet. He comes in there. He attacks the Young Bucks. He did like the suicide dive the outside. We're wearing glasses and keeping them on, by the way.
Which was impressive.
Yeah,
almost as impressive as Samoa Joe attacking, I don't even remember who he attacked, and his shirt not coming untucked. Like, that shit defies science.
Mm-hmm. And then he just, he said he wanted to be there. He wanted to be in the ring. He said, and he called out Lucha Underground. He said, but a certain underground fighting promotion were being pricks.
Yeah, he sure enough did.
Yeah, and he challenged them. He was like, it's going to be him and Taguchi versus them. The Young Bucks accepted. After a break, Rocky Romero got on the microphone. He talked about, hey, we've done everything we said we were going to do. We wanted to be the junior tag team champions. We did that. We won the Super Juniors tournament. We did that. It's like, I just think, and I said, if we didn't win it, man, we're done. And, it's like, I'll give you my blessing. And, Beretta's going to go up and be a heavyweight.
Which was cool. Here's why I really like this. I don't have to see another Roppongi Vice Young Bucks match. Nothing against those guys. They put on some fantastic shows. But it's really weird as a Western audience, especially, and I really enjoy this, to have a mutual parting of ways of a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I really dug that. One didn't turn on the other. One didn't freak out. Beretta said, we had a good run, brother. Let's come back again one day, but let's go down a separate road for a little while. And I really enjoyed that.
And plus, they're still in Chaos together, so it's not like,
along with the 75 other people that are in Chaos.
Yeah, I know.
What is it about that? There's more people in Chaos, and there's a fuck ton of people. Well, there's actually not a fuck ton of people. There's a decent amount of people in Los Ingobernables. But something about the Bullet Clubs is just because we're a Western audience, they're that much more popular with us. And they're gaijin, so we can relate. Is that why they're much more prevalent over here? Because I know I'm a Bullet Club fan first and foremost, but that was also the first group I got introduced to. And poor Suzuki-gun. I know 2 members of Suzuki-gun, and that's fucking it.
Yeah, Suzuki-gun's got several people. I mean, it's right now it's faction war, and now you're seem to forgetting. Don't forget Taguchi Japan.
Yeah, then that's the fifth, the poor redheaded stepchild of New Japan. Nothing against them.
They're new, so you got to cut them some slack.
But I like that. I like that there's kind of this, with very few exceptions amongst some singles and one tag team that I can think of. That's something I dig about New Japan. Like, hey, if you're going to come to New Japan, fucking pick a staple, and that's the boys you're going to run with. Pick one that fits your ideals and the way you wrestle. And I really, really like that concept. But I'm a sucker for factions anyway.
Yeah, I like it. I kind of want to see LIJ and Bullet Club go to war, but that's just me.
So do I. I do. I want to see Los Ingobernables and Bullet Club be like, no, we're the better heels. No, we're the better heels. That's what I want to see. And then you can have fucking Chaos, reign supreme with Okada as they've been doing.
Right.
Even though I like Chaos. I'm giving him shit. I actually like Chaos. I'm just a Bullet Club guy.
Next, the audience got a little bit of a breather here. We had another multi-man match. We had Bullet Club being represented by Bad Luck Fale, Cody, Marty Scurll, Yujiro Takahashi taking on Chaos. They're taking on the Briscoes, Kazuchika Okada, and Will Ospreay. I loved it, man. This actually got funny because they were like, we want Fale, and they tag him in, and then he would tag out.
Yeah.
And they would tag, and they called for Takahashi. He would go in, he would tag out. It got crazy.
This match I think went on way too long.
Yeah, I think this was just an opportunity to let the audience, kind of catch their breath because
that was one of my biggest disappointments from this is that we didn't get to really see anything out of Marty Scurll, who is one of the people I want to see the most of. He's the person that I think could be a potential flag carrier for the Bullet Club. He's somebody I think has potentially the best gimmick in the world and amazingly talented. In both matches, he kind of just got tossed in these multi-mans, which I think was a waste, personally. But, I mean, the match was still good.
Well, he's got a unique gimmick. Yeah, he reminds me of Burgess Meredith and Batman.
Shut up,
JR. Shut the fuck up. Just
old ass man. I still haven't forgiven that bastard for ruining that spoiler of Lucha Underground that I sat on for like fucking 6 months. Piece of shit.
I like the one where they were getting everybody to shake their hips.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Everybody laughed at that one because I love when they were like tagging in Foley to do that. We're like, oh, everybody get ready. He just sat on them.
I actually don't think Foley's that bad. He's put on some matches that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, he's actually he's not bad. He's not bad at all. I mean, I know he catches a lot of flack, especially from LK, but no, he's not that bad.
He's really not.
All right, then we get to the Intercontinental Championship match.
Almost completely worth unmentioning because it was a complete waste of time.
This was something who would you like to, okay. Wrestling Ranton had this idea. Why not, if you're going to have Billy Gunn on the card, why not have him take on Taguchi? Then that way it's ass versus ass.
Yeah.
But who would you prefer to see, Tanahashi wrestle for the defend his Intercontinental Championship against in New Japan?
Anybody that isn't Billy Gunn. Not that Billy Gunn's untalented by any means, but they tried to build a story up with this. It really wasn't there. I don't think you need to have him defend it again. I think we should have had a defense for one of the other 47,000 other belts that fucking New Japan's got, which is a problem, I think, with New Japan. There's too many belts. Yeah,
I don't think anybody. I think this is one where I thought like New Japan overthought the card. But it's like, well, we're in America. We need to get somebody. The American fans like Billy Gunn. Let's get Billy Gunn. The guy who barely appears for us and is in like the most useless faction that we have, the Bullet Club Hunters. It's really just him and Yoshitatsu.
Yeah, the Bullet Club Hunters, which is potentially the worst gimmick I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Our gimmick is that we hate them because they make money because they got cool shirts. All right.
Yeah, they completely dropped them. I was hoping at least when they sent Tanahashi down to Mexico for a few months or a few weeks, I thought maybe he'd come back and do something, be a heel, just do something different. And no, he's done nothing different since he came back.
Yeah, no, it's
again, I hated the I guess the ass spots. I just, and by the way, what the fuck was up with Billy Gunn's finger?
I wasn't paying attention.
If you looked on his left hand, on his ring finger, it was like black and blue. I thought it was like gonna fall off, broken or whatever. But his just, it was, it did not look good.
There's no telling.
But
well, look who the fuck is in the comments. It is our good buddy Wrestling Ranton.
Hey, it's Wrestling Ranton. We've actually been plugging your show, buddy.
Yeah, fucking, we've been fucking putting you over like fucking Vince puts over Cena, man. We didn't say one bad thing at all.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, and then we get to the finals, man. We got Kenny Omega versus Tomohiro Ishii. Jesus Christ! If you're gonna have a main event, this was the main event to have.
Fucking great match, and like, mind you, I had some flaws with this match. They're a little nitpicky, but because I guess it was a U.S. match, everyone's saying Okada's praises, and don't get me wrong, Okada was a fucking artist in this match, but Ishii, I think, was the MVP. ECE, man, I fucking loved that spot where he was biting the rope. I thought that was one of the coolest fucking things I've seen in forever. I loved it. I fucking loved it.
No, I think that was like the spot. I think that was the spot of the night. That snap-dragon suplex through the table. No, there's not too much more I can say about this match.
I as much as I like him, there were too many rising knees from Omega.
Oh, the V trigger?
Yeah, way too many. Way too many. Like, and I know that's one of his signature moves, but I was like, okay, I saw this last night. I know these are really effective, and they look super stiff, and they look great. Do something else, man. Like, that minor thing, the match was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm. No, and then, oh, by the way, and here's another thing. They finish up with this main event. And by the way, I really can't do this justice, but if you haven't seen it, I mean, just go either get a subscription to New Japan World or use internet magic to find that match and just check it out. It's really good. Omega is just like already on a different level now. He's hit like a different level, but Ishii is not far behind him. He is. Like I said, I think he should at least be in consideration for an Intercontinental Championship reign.
I don't disagree. I mean, he's somebody I would put a strap on, and I would have him have a great and long and glorious run with it. Because, I mean, one of his problems is he does lose quite a bit. But he's good enough that whoever he's wrestling, you feel like that person had to almost go to the brink of death to actually win.
Yeah, he's like, I think Ishii is one of those guys that, like, if I had a gun, like 6 bullets in there, and I shot him 5 times and he's still not dead, I'm taking that 6th bullet, put it in my fucking brain because I'm going to be on the receiving end of that shit. But afterwards, and by the way, like, I was fully expecting like Geto and Okada to speak in Japanese. We're going to have somebody translate for them. Oh, and by the way, don't ever say, "Oh, well, my partner here knows Japanese," and he's just like, "No, I know enough to place an order and have a general short conversation." Don't do that. I mean, he's like me.
Like you said, they just showed up. They were completely unprepared.
Yeah, but I definitely want to commend Geto and Omega, and Okada, at least for their English speaking abilities. I mean, I know they probably had to memorize some stuff, but they did really good. And they talked about that they're going to bring strong style to the U.S. They're going to be back. It's going to be. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what the future for New Japan holds because I don't think at the top of the hour when I said that the accessibility to New Japan needs to be better. I don't think LK is one of my fellow managers. I don't think LK quite got what I was trying to say. It's you have to explain, like, okay, what's this? Why is it different? Why should I watch this over that? Like, what makes this so great? How do I get involved? How do I watch it? Where can I watch it? Yada yada yada. This, that, and another. And they're working on that. Like, I think this was not a baby step, but a giant leap in that direction. And I think the sky's the limit for these guys.
Yeah, I'm just wishing the best. There's only like 10,000 people here in the United States who've actually got subscriptions to New Japan World, and I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. And I will say this: it's cheaper than the WWE network, and I'm a hell of a lot more satisfied with it.
Well, it depends on what you use the network for. I don't want to say I would be more satisfied with New Japan World because I haven't been on it in a little while, so I couldn't tell you. But it was difficult to navigate, a little bit harder to see. But I mean, I get more than my money's worth out of WWE networks. I don't want to say I was more satisfied, but I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Not that New Japan needs to go the way of the WWE network and put all that other content on there. Make it a little more easy to navigate, make it a little more accessible. Put something they need to make like a little mini documentary for the West going, this is what New Japan is. Watch us. Like I said, they're still kind of sitting on, come to us, we won't go to you. But I think this was the great big step in going, we're going to come to you.
And you know what we actually have to thank, who we actually have to thank for this?
Who?
WWE.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, people wanted to shit on them.
I think they were content to do what they were doing, but when WWE went in there and snatched up 4 of their top talents in one fell swoop, they took it as a slap in the face, and they said, okay, you want to do that? Fine. And it took them some time, but this is what they've done in response.
Yeah. I remember that when they all left, people were genuinely scared for New Japan, wondering if they were going to be able to bounce back. And not only have they bounced back, they've succeeded. If you were going to say what the number 2 promotion in the world is, I think you have to say it's New Japan. It's not an indie. It is one of the major players. And I think it's fair to say, mind you, the gap between number 1 and number 2 is astronomically large. But every little bit you chip away, and that's good for WWE. Because when is WWE the best? When there's competition. There's no fucking competition. But New Japan's getting there. And if New Japan, don't think Triple H didn't watch this. You're silly if you don't think that. And he goes, okay, let's top them. It's going to be good for everybody when New Japan does better.
Well, that's where we're going to leave it now with New Japan. Do you want to talk just a few little news tidbits and just take it from there?
Yeah, I totally forgot to put over Wrestling Ranting one more time. I haven't got a chance to watch him yet, brother, so bear with me. If you want to know what New Japan is and why you should watch it and what makes it different from other types of wrestling, he has, I believe, a 3-part series on what it is. You should go check that out over at Wrestling Ranting.
And that's RASSSLIN, His channel is slowly growing, and I would suggest you go check it out. He's put together some really good stuff. He had a really good video about the rise and fall of the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, please. Wrestling, go ahead and plug your shit in comments, please. Everyone go and check that out. Hopefully the 3 of us can get back on and have a show sometime here in the near future, but I understand. With me, real life's getting in the way. I've got a new job. I'm trying to work towards a promotion, and I'm trying to write a book and take care of the kid all at the same time. So,
he just responded in the comments saying, "Why, thank you, Sammy. Will be a 6-part one, finishing it this weekend." So,
fuck this. See, there you go. 6 parts. That's what you need. Now, if only we could get that and send it out to the masses so that everyone could understand what New Japan is. And just explain, like, hey, New Japan has these factions. New Japan, this is what hard style is. This is the history of strong style. This is why you should watch us. That's what makes us different from everyone else. And I'm sure that's shit that he all covered over there. But once they get that done and they can make it over there, there's no reason I don't think it can't go places. But it's getting late, man. I've got to go to work in the morning. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I know we exclusively talked about New Japan, but that's what this was about. I, for the first time in a couple of years, actually missed both Raw and SmackDown this week. So I don't know what's going on. I am genuinely super excited for the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match, but Samoa Joe's been carrying that story, mind you. Because he's Samoa Joe, and I think he's one of the best in the world. I've been excited about that. I mean, AJ Styles arguably one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. So there's reasons to watch WWE, but I'm getting to the point where I just don't want to watch it week to week because it's becoming a commitment.
Oh yeah, I haven't really watched it, and to be honest, I haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you love Jim Ross's commentary for New Japan, you're gonna love it because now he's gonna be one half of the commentary team for the Mae Young Classic.
He'll probably be more fucking prepared for that at least.
Yeah, he probably will be. It's gonna be him and Lita.
Yes, I'd be more regarded.
And actually, they just released like a new logo for the Mae Young Classic, and so far they've announced like a few of the names here.
And I don't know most of them, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Carrie Hojo, she's gonna be in it. She's was in Stardom. She just finished up with Stardom. She was who's that girl she fucking wrestled? Internet Infantry, help me out here. Who is it that Hojo wrestled? She's not gonna be in it because when they put her through like a physical and they found some kind of neck issues with her, so her debut is gonna be pushed back. But she's, let's see who else is in there. You're going to have Dakota Kai. You're going to have Bianca Belair, that chick who's got the long ponytail that she can use as a whip. Piper Niven. Actually, there's a better one here. Sarah Logan, Lacey Evans.
I don't know any of these girls, honestly, which is good. I'm excited.
Suga Hit, Toni Storm, Tessa Blanchard, Abby Laith, Tainara Conti, Jazzy Gabbert, Kavita Dev, Vanessa Bourne.
What they don't need to do with this classic is make a belt for it.
Well, that's another thing they talked about. They talked about presenting the winner with some kind of championship belt. And
I don't think they do that. I think you need to get the trophy, kind of like what New Japan does with their tournaments. You win the champion, you win the trophy, and it's not with all of their things, but you can decide who you want to go up against and have them be like, if you win, you get a shot at Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship because she's still undefeated. By the way, I have not watched her match with what's her fucking face yet?
Nikki Storm?
Nikki Storm, or not Nikki Storm.
Or Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross.
What the fuck
Nikki Storm. And Nikki Cross, but I've heard that it is pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it was actually really, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I really think maybe NXT should really kind of change their I know they're pushing Ember Moon to be the one who unseats Asuka, but after her showing, I'm really thinking WWE needs to maybe rethink that decision.
The Cross.
Or if they do have Ember Moon win the championship, I think that the person that Ember Moon needs to lose it to is Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross. Like, honestly, I have not been terribly impressed. I've been so uninterested in NXT for the last month or two. I don't care. It's just I don't know what it is, and everyone still talks about how great it is, and I'm sure it is. I just can't stay interested in it. And I guess because part of me knows that eventually everyone's going to go up to the main roster, and if you want to make me care, to me, have it to where more people like are NXT. Like it's like they are there from beginning to end.
Well, you either go to Raw or you go to SmackDown. Either way, your career's dead.
Yeah, for the most part, there's very few people that have done really well, and not many. But
John Cena needs somebody else to beat. You know, what can I say? You need somebody else for Roman Reigns to go over.
Joe's done well. Nakamura, they've botched so far, which I don't know how the fuck you do that. I don't know. There's some issues, and once Nakamura left, honestly, I haven't been terribly interested. And what's her name? Who's the punk girl that's in NXT? I really like her.
Ruby
I
Riott.
completely forgot her name. What? Ruby Riott. I really like her. Like I just don't see Ember Moon being the lady that carries the banner for the women's championship after they call up what's her fucking Asuka. I would rather say Nikki Cross or Ruby Riott would be the ones.
Because what I love about WWE, it's like, let's take something that's really cool and let's see. I think it's like a challenge to them. I think it's a challenge for the writing crew. It's like, hey, how can we fuck this up?
Yeah,
I think they'll call Asuka up. They'll make her speak in broken English. They'll make her like the lackey for somebody. Like, who would be like her?
They're gonna put her and Nakamura together. Like, just be prepared.
Yeah, because they have to put Asians together for some reason, just like they do black people. They have to put black people together in tag teams just because they're black.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm Triple H, I keep Asuka in NXT forever, and you kind of do like some other promotions have done, in that at WrestleMania, you have a NXT Women's Championship match. Like they had a Ring of Honor Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom. Have both NXT titles. I know you got to keep TakeOver important too, but have one match from you would put on TakeOver, put it on WrestleMania, so that way people are getting thirsty. And again, I just want to keep Asuka in NXT because she's probably the greatest female wrestler in the world, or one of them at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, right now WWE for the most part does not have a good track record of taking the ball with NXT guys and then basically instead of picking up where they left off and improving them and making them better and promoting them, they just find ways to fuck them up and bury them.
I don't get it. Like, how do you fuck up Nakamura? You just treat him like Brock Lesnar. That's all you have to do with Nakamura. He's not somebody that needs to wrestle every fucking week. He's somebody that shows up more than fucking Lesnar, don't get me wrong. But he shows up, he has a great match, he kinshasa somebody in the fucking face, and you call it a day.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of NXT, we found out that Tommaso Ciampa, he's going to be out till 2018.
Was that a shoot, not a work?
Yeah, that's shoot, man. He's out to 2018. I think it was a knee injury. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know if it was ACL, MCL, or a combination of both, but he's had to have surgery. He's having to rehab from it. I think maybe they're aiming for March. But anyway, around. And Johnny Wrestling, they announced tonight on NXT that Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, he's going to be back next week.
Okay, cool. Like I'm kind of done with NXT outside of the takeovers. So I'll go back and I'm going to watch like the Nikki Cross Asuka match. If someone else tells me, hey, so-and-so had a great match, I'll go back and watch it. But I'm going to be, because of real life and work, and again, I'm trying to essentially work 2 jobs at the same time right now writing this book, I'm going to be particular about what I watch. I'll watch New Japan when I watch New Japan. I'll watch the Lucha Underground, religiously because it's still my favorite show in the world.
Yeah, I gotta watch Lucha Underground this week. I've watched NXT live. I'm gonna watch Lucha Underground tomorrow when I get a chance.
I don't have El Rey anymore, so I have to watch it via internet magic.
Yep, internet magic.
But God, I fucking love Lucha Underground. It's so goddamn good.
Missing that on the Cool Network.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it for us. And this is. Because, we could go through comments, but we're both old as fuck. And we probably want to go to bed.
Yeah, I've got to work and stuff tomorrow.
Same here. All right, guys, fucking send us off, Booms.
All right, I want to thank everybody for joining us here. We're going to try to do more of these when we can. What can I say? Real life has gotten in the way of the internet, but hopefully this is just, a rough patch, temporary thing we're going through. So thank you for bearing with us. We'll try to do these shows when we can. In the meantime, you can always check us out, KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Buy Dave Coco's book, Operation Freak Show, available on Amazon.com. I don't know where that motherfucker is. I'll have to get a hold of him.
He came back. He made like a glorious Goldberg appearance for a couple of weeks and then dipped the fuck out again.
Yeah, it's like him and James Legend.
I have not met this James Legend.
He's a wrestling promoter who's confined to a wheelchair due to health issues.
Well, that sucks ass.
But he's still got some fire left in him.
Fair. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Get well soon, James Legend. So that's going to do it for us. So thanks very much.
And what
So,
you're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is you're going to get real down, real low, real sexy. We're going to bring it down just one more time. You knew this was coming. That's what we always do at the end of these shows. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and put on that Barry Manilow album. I would go ahead and pick out a Barry Manilow song, but I don't know a Barry Manilow song, so you're just going to make up one for you. You're going to turn up that fire. You're going to go in the closet. You're going to dig real deep in that closet. You're going to go back. You can go in that time portal. Go back to 1984. Go ahead and pull out that Jake the Snake Roberts wrestling buddy. You know you loved it. You know you want to touch it. Go ahead, bring that out. Put it on the snakeskin couch. Oh, yeah. You thought I was going to say bearskin. No, this is a snakeskin couch because it's Jake the Snake Roberts. Pour some nice rosé, some tough boy rosé. You put that chilled shit on ice. And you know what? You're going to make love to that doll. And after you finish making love to that doll, you're going to roll over. You're going to light that cigarette. You're going to look at that doll and you're going to think, God damn, do I love KocoSports.
and with that, the boom just went bang, and I am out.